From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon as that new employment number was released today, and it showed unemployment surged out of control. It was 200,000 just a few weeks ago. Then it went to 230, then 235. What did it do today? 244,000 new jobless claims. And it's no longer a strong labor market. The narrative that I said several weeks ago is dead is now reaffirmed today as well. The payroll numbers last Friday were a myth, and the numbers today are signaling that the U.S. economy is deeply in a recession. We'll go over what you need to do, but you know what you do first. You go right on this video and become a member. You get the $100,000 of four stimulus checks in every U.S. state. You get these incredible sums of money right now. These sums of money became law in March, and those checks have been gotten by viewers of this channel. You deserve them. You get them right now. $100,000 across the board, and they're huge. You qualify. We'll go over all these incredible checks later in this recording. Stay to the very end. Go right in this video. Join the channel. Become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, a Casino VIP member, and get these huge checks across the land. But we have a lot of numbers also coming in. Yesterday we had the CPI. Today we had the PPI. And what do they both signal? Inflation. Inflation's out of control, and we'll go over why it has not peaked yet. Then we had banking numbers coming in minutes ago, and those banking numbers were not good as well. We had Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan Chase reporting corporate earnings minutes ago, and they were weak, very weak, missing on those numbers across the board. Is the Federal Reserve going to do a 1 basis point, 100 basis point increase at that July FOMC meeting? Or 75? Christopher Waller had his comments minutes ago. I'll go over his comments. He's a Fed governor, and why that situation is telling across the board. Your benefits are going up a lot, and that is great news. Your benefits are going up a huge amount of money because gasoline is tracking higher. And the CPI is really out of control. We'll go over what you need to know about that number in today's recording. But what you need to do is go right on this video and become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. Get the huge stimulus checks in every U.S. state. We'll go over all this big money. It all starts right now as America's most loved show at the midday starts on Afternoons. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. It's not a particularly beautiful day for the U.S. economy. As 2 weeks ago, I said we're in a recession, but at the time, some analysts were happy and giddy and celebrating and doing a pear dance. Why? Because they said the June jobs payroll numbers suggest a great labor market, just a great labor market. And, you know, the labor market's really strong, they said last Friday, even though that the unemployment claims the day before were not good at all. Well, I said over the last 7 days, when would the unemployment numbers surge to a number that would basically say, stop it. Stop it right now. That is not a strong labor market. And I'm going to wipe that smile off your face to think it's a great labor market. Stop dancing. Unless you're dancing to give me some stimulus from the rain gods. Well, the news came in today, and here we go. 244,000 new jobless claims. That was the number. I told you anything over 240,000 would surge and shake the markets, and it did. Understand how bad this labor number is. It was 180 just a few weeks ago, and that's where it should be coming out of the pandemic. And then it surged to 200. I said, okay, we're getting a little dancy here. Nancy for dancing. Then as we started to creep up higher, I said 230 is my next projection. It came in at 230. I projected 230 again, 230,000. Last week I projected 230,000. It came in at 235. Over the last 7 days, I said, it's not a strong labor market. You see the graphic. Wall Street analysts continue to say it's a really strong labor market because the producer price index, because the June jobs payroll number was released last Friday. It shows everyone has a job. They don't all have a job. And then suddenly, And then suddenly, you know what I said? I said, when do we change the narrative? When do we change the narrative and realize it's not a strong labor market? When does this narrative that's a strong labor market die? It dies when the number surges at least over 240. That didn't take long. That didn't take long. I said this over the last 7 days. And what happened? 2 weeks ago, 230. Last week, 235. Today, 244,000 new jobless claims. This is the highest level since November 2021. It's the worst number of the year. There you go. Because I was doing this with my hand the last few days, not because I'm drawing a picture, but because I'm showing you how it was good, how it was high, then it came down, and now went back up. This is the worst number of 2022. That started the day. Also continued the day was the producer price index number that was released before sunrise. This is the sister or brother to the CPI released yesterday. The producer price index number, which gauges inflation as well, rose 11.3% year to date from a year ago from June 2021. And this is near the record high ever seen for the producer price index for a generation, last posted in March of 11.6. That is how the news started today. The news continued with Fed Governor Waller asked whether they would do a 100 basis point, which is 1.0 interest rate spike at that FOMC meeting in July. I told you yesterday they would. What did he say? He did not rule it out, but he said they're definitely doing 3/4. I'm going to go over more about his data in just a second. I got to tell you now, 80, what's the number? Is it, I believe it's now 80% of Wall Street analysts agree with me. I have the data for you later in this recording. 80% now believe that's going to be a full 100 basis point increase in just a few days from the Federal Reserve. This is, folks, why you have to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. It's nearly $100,000. You qualify for it. We have a lot of money in this recording. We have $100,000 stimulus checks. Everyone gets one almost across the board. If you qualify, then we have the incredible sums of money for your benefits raise. Would you like $5,000 more per year if you're on SSI and SSDI? That is coming up later in this recording. And then we have the $15,000 to $80,000 of checks that Congress wants to give you as well. That's coming up in just a second. Stay with me. But first, let's go over what happened yesterday on the inflationary front. Still at issue. Inflation was released yesterday, the CPI, and it surged to a whopping 9.1% from the month of May at 8.6%. This is not good. And this is not good. And it's as inflation continues to creep up day after day, week after week. It does have a great impact on your benefits. It will raise your benefits a lot. But what's important to understand is that this is part of the many, many issues at hand. U.S. inflation already underway, a recession underway, and now labor falling apart also today as well. Let's go over a little bit more at issue what's happening. You know, there is an attempt to give guidance, and then there's an attempt to confuse. And my attempt is to give you as much guidance as possible. But out there's a lot of analysts that are really trying to confuse. Yesterday, they were back again. And last Friday, they were on full alert when they tried to tell you it's a strong labor market. Yesterday, they're trying to say inflation has peaked. Today, they're trying to say that this is a good situation because the numbers are actually going to come down after now. I got to tell you, every day that another number comes out, they try to spin it, and the number doesn't say that. What do you know right now? We are in a recession. They're trying to say we're not in a recession. We already got that confirmation from from the Atlanta Fed GDP Now number released 2 weeks ago. 2 negative quarters of GDP growth. Number two, inflation is not coming down. It has not peaked. I said this last spring. And that every month they say, this is probably the last high read. This is probably the last high read, the last high inflation number. How many times have been saying that? Well, this is the month of July. They've now said that 7 months in a row. Ridiculousness? It is ridiculousness. Then they continue to say the Federal Reserve is not going to go higher on those interest rate spikes. The Federal Reserve always goes higher. The Federal Reserve looked at the May read and then went from quarter to half. They went at the June read. They went from half to 3/4. They're looking at the July numbers, well, the numbers released this month, which are the CPI from last month. And 80% of Wall Street says they're going to 100 basis point. This is why you really don't listen to those analysts, or you listen to me. Now, the great news is I have a lot of money for you. You need this money. We'll be going over more about this economic breaking news in just a second, the PPI, the CPI, the inflation recession. But let's turn to these incredible checks. You ready for them? I am. There is $100,000 approximately of forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. It's not state stimulus, it's federal stimulus. And I got it for you coming up later in this recording. It's approximately $100,000. And you qualify. Why would you wait? This is from the federal government, done by executive action, passed in the month of March. And it's huge. It's about $100,000. Single individual, $75,000 less, you qualify. Married couple, you qualify. SSI and SSDI, you qualify. Go get it. Go right on this video's button under the video and become a member. Join the channel and become a member and get these incredible checks in every U.S. state. Go right on this video and join. And stay the second half as we go over these $100,000 of forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. That's coming up in just a second. Now, we had the data that came in as well today from the banking industry. The banking industry is under major pressure. And remember, don't forget to become a member. Here's the link under the video. Join this channel right now. The banking industry reported earnings numbers today, and boy, folks, they were really bad. Let's go over their numbers as well. Jamie Dimon, head of JP Morgan Chase, brilliant guy, but really out to left field, in my opinion. He refused to use the word recession several months ago, but he said a storm's out to sea, but he wouldn't use the word recession. Well, he needed to come a little bit stronger on his wording, and Wall Street was not, digesting the strength of his wording. I think he was out to left field. I think he really got it wrong, and here is what happened today. His corporate earnings took a tank. And he tried to really signal that maybe this economy was not a recession. He just owned it and said, we're in a recession. Here today, JP Morgan earnings fell short of analyst expectations. With bad loans, they're booking a potential write-off of $428 million. The stock is down 5% just today alone. It's down a 52-week low. And this is after JP Dimon warned of massive problems something down the road. The U.S. economy continues to slow, and both the job market and the consumer spending and their ability to spend remain healthy. Do you want to own that stock? I don't want to own the stock. I don't want to own the stock. If this guy, Jamie Dimon, who's brilliant, well-loved, very smart guy, continues to say the job market remains healthy. This is a quote today. The job market remains healthy. It's not healthy, Jamie Dimon. It's 344,000 new jobless claims. It's not healthy. When are you going to stop saying it's healthy? We're now not a quarter million. We're now not a 250,000 jobless claims. We're now, 244,000 jobless claims. We're now at 250,000 jobless claims, per week. The situation and issue is that it has not eased up. Consumer spending and remains healthy. It does not remain healthy. Consumer confidence continues to track lower. And then the U.S. economy does not continue to grow. We already have the Atlanta GDP now numbers. It shows the U.S. economy had a negative quarter of GDP growth that just ended. So, I don't know where these people are getting these quotes. Now, maybe the quote is delayed. And here is what happened. Wall Street was expecting 288 a share, came in at 276, major miss. Here's on the revenue side. The revenue side was really on the money. His profits were down 28% year to date. Perhaps because he keeps on saying the labor market is really strong. Perhaps because he keeps on saying the U.S. growth is really strong. It's not strong. We're in a recession. I mean, just come on already. Just own it and move on. Let's look at a counterpart. Morgan Stanley reported corporate earnings today, and they were a major miss, down 29%. Profits dropped 2.5 billion. 2.5 billion. Or 29% in just the last from year to date. Earnings were a miss, $1.39 versus $1.53 expected. Revenues were really on the point. Shares of that stock is down 1%. Overall, the firm delivered a strong quarter when it was a more volatile market environment than we've seen in some time, said CEO. Strong quarter, your profits are down 29%. Your profits were down 29%. Is that strong? You see what's going on? Later this week, Citibank and Wells Fargo report corporate earnings. Let's look at the Fed Governor Waller. Waller was asked, are they going to do, would you do 100 basis point at the July 26th, 27th, pencil that in, FOMC meeting? The Federal Reserve is trying to deal with inflation at its worst level since 1981. My base case depends on the incoming data. That's an evasive answer, isn't it? How much more data does he have between now and July 26th? Not a lot more inflationary data. I'll explain to you which ones. He already has the CPI from yesterday. He has the PPI from today. He has the labor numbers from today. It's not a lot of leftover data. Labor going from 200 to 230 to 244. What else data does he need? We important data releases on retail sales and houses coming in before July. Oh, he needs that. Okay. If the data comes in materially stronger than expected, really? Then it would make more sense to lean towards a larger hike rate than expected. So he thinks the housing numbers are going to come in really strong, and that they are. Then they have to do a full basis point. Well, let me tell you what's going on. The number of housing starts and building permits are due to be announced on July 19th. Wait a second. Did I get that right? Did I get that right? Yeah, it's about 7 days before his meeting, and starts are tumbled 14% in the month of May, and permits fell 7%. So he's expecting, if he says that the market's really strong, then we'll do a big interest rate spike. The numbers are not expected to be strong for the housing market, which is already in a bust. Oh, yawn. So here's what you need to know. Here's what you need to know. Analysts now have the following data. They first have, starting today, a worse labor market than we've seen this entire year. And anyone who comes out and saying it's a strong labor market, like Jamie Dimon, is just really, it's just not believable. It's not believable. 244,000 new jobless claims per week when it was just 188 just a few weeks ago. It was just 200 just 4 weeks ago. It's not good. It's going up 40,000 in just about 3 weeks. That's not good. Number two, the PPI number released this morning shows that the producer price index, that inflation's hitting on that wholesale side, up 11.3% year to date, and this is near the highest we've ever seen of a generation, which is 11.6. Then when we look at the CPI number was released yesterday, and that we already know was astronomically horrific. Let's look at those CPI numbers from yesterday, just out of control. Again, this is the Consumer Price Index number released yesterday. Shows you what's going on with inflation. It's the June read released in the month of July. And what happened? Well, in the month of May, we had a 8.6% read for inflation. And what happened yesterday? The June number, out of control, 9.1%. This is the highest increase since 1981, and this was substantially higher than what Wall Street expected. It helps your benefits a lot. I'll explain to you why later in this recording. But here is what happened. The situation was the gasoline continued to track higher, and then the CPI was brought up higher as well. The Federal Reserve had not gotten inflation down and will continue not to get inflation down because it's being caused by gasoline. On a monthly basis, let's look at the numbers as well. The monthly basis on that CPI release yesterday was just not healthy. The CPI rose 1.3% month to month. This is compared to the prior month of May. The core CPI was up as well. And what's at issue is when you exclude food and energy, then we still also had core CPI up 5.9% year to date. That's higher than what Wall Street expected, 5.7%. And what Wall Street expected on the headline number? They expected 8.8% compared to the month before at 8.6%. It was 9.1%. What did Wall Street analysts say as soon as the news came out yesterday? It said the CPI may have peaked. Peaked? That inflation may have peaked. Excuse me? How many times have they said this before? How many times have Wall Street analysts said this before? They've been saying this for a long duration, month after month, year to date, when they continually say that maybe inflation's peaked. Well, guess what? It hasn't peaked. It has continued not to peak. And the issue at hand is that if it continues to not peak, then Jay Powell will continue to raise rates. They also said maybe this is the final walk in the park from Jay Powell. Maybe this will be the final interest rate spike. Why? Now, that all changed today. As I told you earlier in this recording, that all changed today. It's now nearly 80% of Wall Street analysts believe that a 100 basis point increase by the Federal Reserve is in the books for this July 26th to 27th meeting. 80% now put that at issue, that they believe that is what you need to bet in the market for the risk at hand. The situation is the probability that outcome now stands at about 80% according to CPI Group data. Let me give you the quote, and this is brand new, happening minutes ago. Following Wednesday's announcement of the CPI, the following quote came out. The CPI Group says that 80% of people polled show that as of Thursday, they're expecting the 100 basis point increase from the Federal Reserve, a full basis point, in other words, 1.0, following that horrible CPI read of yesterday of 12 months at 9.1%. It's just where we are right now. Now, let's go back to where you are. Where you are is there's a lot of money. How much money? About $185,000. About $185,000. First, there's a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. It's from the federal government. It's not state stimulus. It's not state stimulus. Not from this state. It's not from your county. It's not from your city. It's from the federal government. It's coming up later in this recording, $100,000. Then there is the raising up of your benefits, an enormous amount of money, upwards of $5,000. I'm going to go over that right now in just 1 second. And then the third part of the equation is the Build Back Better Act, $15,000 to $80,000 on top of that. There are different time frames for each of them, but first you want to get the money that's available right today. It is the nearly $100,000 in every U.S. state. Go right in this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. Get these huge checks right now. Do not wait, because this economy clearly is not in a good situation. And Americans are really going to see a major financial cliff. Why? Because Wall Street analysts continue to pass off fake narratives. Great labor market, great housing market, great economy, and yet their corporate earnings come in. Jamie Dimon with that ridiculous quote that the labor market is really good. It's not, Mr. Dimon, and that is why the corporate earnings are missing. They're misgauging this economy, and they don't want to come in strong enough on their language. Folks, we're in a recession. We're in a recession, and the magnitude of the recession is impacting left and right. Go right in this video, become a member. Now, let's go over to the exciting news about your benefits. Your benefits are going up an enormous amount. How much? Well, folks, it depends on how much you think inflation has not yet peaked. At the moment, we're looking at potentially $5,000 more per year. Yes, if you're on SSI, SSDI, veterans benefits, more, about $5,000 more per year. Oh, baby, yes. What's going on? Your benefits are determined based upon numbers released in the month of July, August, for the month of July, August, and September. I said for the month because they come out a month later. And they are the CPI-W, released in the month of July, August, and September. It's a subsection of the CPI. The CPI we saw yesterday, surge out of control, highest level we've seen of a generation, 9.1%. Higher than expected. Why? Because of gasoline. If you believe that the CPI we saw yesterday for inflation is going to still stay high next month, well, this month, reported next month, and then the 2 months thereafter, then you're on the same track that I am. That the read currently from the Social Security actuary, Steve Goss, based upon the May data, is too optimistic. What happened? In the month of May, the CPI surged higher. I said, I don't think the CPI is done going higher. Well, obviously, I was right. The CPI in the month of May was 8.5%. I said, I think the June number is going to be much higher. And Goss looked at the May number and said, looking at that May number, maybe by the July, August, September number, you could have a raise of your benefits of 8%. I said back when the May number was released, I think the June number is going to be much higher. Well, obviously, the June number now is higher. We saw the June number yesterday from the CPI. The June number was much higher. It was not 8.5%. It was 9.1%. What do we need to see? We need to see if the July number, not released in this month, but next month, is equally as high. If it's again another 9.1 or potentially higher, then you could see $5,000 more in your wallet per year if you're on SSI, SSDI, veterans benefits, SSA, Social Security, or any type of benefits or multiple benefits. The figures will be confirmed when we see the July CPI released in August, the August CPI released in September, and the September CPI released in the month of October. Based on the way we're tracking right now, it's likely to give that enormous lift. Now, remember the great, insanely wonderful news about this is that once your benefits go up, they never go down. If J. Powell eventually gets inflation down, if the recession causes inflation to go down, if inflation goes down because someone changed their San Francisco hairstyle, then guess what? You still get the lift up, because once you lock in that higher rate based upon the July, August, and September data, you're good to go. Let me make something clear, which I haven't made clear in a while. We were talking about Joe Biden swapping COLA for inflation. We were talking about SS300 via fifth stimulus. We were talking about all these different ways to get this higher inflation number. Let me make clear to you that those opportunities are not happening at the moment because the president's not swapped COLA for inflation and fifth stimulus is not happening. But this is right here. This is the reality. These numbers are out of control. So if the July CPI for inflation we see in the month of August, the August and the September numbers are as high as the number we saw yesterday, folks, your benefits are going up a lot. Viewers have been sending me wonderful messages. I love them where they say they've pulled news articles and they see that the news articles are talking about inflation they're talking about the benefits going up 10, 11, 12%. Yeah, I see that analysis. Not that I necessarily agree with it, but boy, we got to see what happens with these 3 months of numbers. Plus, I'll be going over the president's comments about the CPI released late yesterday after Even's LA, after Afternoon's LA. They're coming up late in this recording. But first, after this recording, after the commercial break, we're going to go over these 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. You deserve them. Go get them. Let's go over, remember what they are starting right now. These incredible 4 stimulus checks are in every U.S. state. They're 4 stimulus. They were done by the President of the United States by executive action, and they're federal stimulus. That's why they're in every U.S. state. They're not state stimulus. Approximately $100,000. Made law in March. Viewers have been getting it since March, and you need to get it right now. Done by executive action. It's federal stimulus. So it's not from your states. Passed in month of March. And you qualify. Single individual, $75,000. Married couple, $150,000 less. SSI, SSDI, veterans, SSA, Social Security. Go get it. How do you get it? Become a member. Go right in this video and become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Click the button where it says join the channel. Get that incredible membership signed up and get that money. Go right in this video and become a member during the commercial break. I will be back with you after the commercial break with these incredible checks. Go right on this video right now. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP, and I'll see you back in 60 seconds. As America's most loved show at the midday continues, it's Afternoons LALATE, and have a beautiful, beautiful, wonderful afternoon, but I'll see you back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then Afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now in a big second half of Afternoons LA from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Hope you're beautiful. and having a great day. That CPI surging out of control yesterday, the PPI surging out of control today, along with unemployment numbers released today. So what will the Build Back Better Act do with all that? That's coming up later in this recording. But you're not going to wait for the Build Back Better Act to pay your money. No, you're going to get this money. It's from the federal government. It's coming from Joseph Biden, executive action back in the month of March. And you're going to go right on this video and become a member. Join this channel and we're going to go over all these incredible checks starting right now. What's important to remember about these checks is a series of items. Number one, huge sums of money, approximately $100,000. Number two, federal stimulus from the federal government. So anyone who has a question like the following, when are they doing them in New York? It's not New York's money. They're not doing them in New York. The federal stimulus. It's federal stimulus from the federal government. Number three, the eligibility is wonderful. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less. If you rent, if you own, if you have children, if you don't have children, if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, veterans benefits, go get it. This is the biggest payout you've ever seen in the history of this channel, so it's really, really wonderful, wonderful, great news. Number three, the money is available right now. You don't wait to get the money, and you continue to get the money. If you got $800 yesterday, get another $800 today. You continue to get the money, and I'm going to show you how to get the money starting right now. First, what you want to do is you want to go into this video, subscribe, go into this video, become a member, and then third, get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and go down and get each of these individual checks one at a time. Let's look at each of these checks and how you do it. Step one is the first check, $6,500 to $12,000. Check A. It's a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. It is the wonderful weatherizing grant check. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you're on benefits, go get it. How do you get that wonderful check A? Step one, become a member. Join this channel right today. Then get that membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the YouTube alerts. Go down in that newsletter till you find check A and click the link. It sends you right into the application. You apply, get that incredible sums of money. It pays out about 1 week routing time on average, and get these huge sums of money, but you're not done there yet. Go get check B. Check B is an astronomical $15,000 to $80,000 forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. And if you're on benefits, go get it as well. How do you get it? Step one, become a member. Go into this video, become a member. Get that incredible membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the member alerts. Then you go down to check B. You find check B, you click the link, you go right in and go get it. It's a wonderful sum of money. It is about $15,000 to $80,000, but viewers are tracking on the high end, $80,000. Look how well we've done so far. Huge. We've done about $100,000 right there. $80,000, then $12,000. There you go. That's about $100,000, but you're not going to stop there yet. You're going to go get check C. It's for my renters, and it's astronomically wonderful. It's also for homeowners. This is an average of a $45,000 stimulus. Many viewers have gotten over $150,000, but it does track at about $2,000 a month over 12 months for a lot of viewers. Step one, become a member. Then go into the membership newsletter till you find check C. It tells you where to call, what to say, and how to say it. These incredible checks for check C's are the most fundamentally important checks of 2022. Why? Because all the great stimulus from 2020 that helped you is gone. Eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance, turning off utilities, and not turning off utilities, all gone. You need this money. It's for rent. It's for utilities. It's for mortgage assistance and more. And you get those incredible monies by going down in the membership newsletter and getting these huge sums of money. Now let's look at the success stories that viewers have gotten for these huge sums of money. For rent, viewers have gotten anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 for these wonderful check C's. Go get them. From Elizabeth to Mark to Nancy, go get these huge sums of money. Utilities, look at that. Would you like this money for utilities? Mark's got $15,000. What about SNAP? $25,000 a year over 10 years. Go get it. What about the combinations? Yeah, you want to get lots of checks. Lots and lots of different various checks from check C. Nisi and Mark and Lorraine and Johnny have continued to go get money, and their numbers continue to go up. Nisi has gone from $23,000 to $50,000. Mark has gone from $32,000 to $166,000. Here was Mark at 50, then he went to 100, then he went to 166. Lorraine has gone from 105 to 155. What do? What they do is they listen and learn. They apply for money, they get money, they go back and get money as well. What's important to understand is that you're gonna have a rejection. You're gonna have a decent amount of rejections, maybe 50% rejection, but you're also gonna have some yeses, about 50% yeses. And for all those yeses, they add up. So if you got $800 today, go get more money tomorrow. And that more money tomorrow could be $5,000, could be $6,000. It all adds up. Meantime, if you're a member of this channel, you get those incredible LALATE worksheets. And those worksheets are really important, especially when we're talking about check C's. Why? Because you need to keep track of what months you got money for. And let's look at that checks. Let's look at that for stimulus in the LALATE worksheets. Here you go. It's the second page. If you're a member of this channel, in the membership newsletter, in the third or fourth line, it says the LALATE worksheets in the membership newsletter. You go down to these free worksheets designed for me, only for LALATE members. And there's a wonderful table. It's a 5-page PDF. The whole PDF is about 5 pages in length. You can print it out like I did. If you have a printer attached to the cell phone or attached to your computer, or you can just take notes on a separate piece of paper. If you print it out, then look at this wonderful table. You keep track of what months you got paid for these check C's. So, for example, this is the month of July. You may have already gotten it for the first 2 quarters. Maybe you got it for the first quarter, then you got it for the second quarter. Now it's time to get it for the third quarter. And you keep track of who paid it for you the last quarter, how much they paid, so that when you go back to them and say, hi, I want another quarter. I need another 3 more months. Okay, yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, absolutely. Now, remember, CheckC has a lot of places for you to contact, about 15 places. So don't be one of those people who says, I called one place and I had problems. There's 15 plus places to call. That is the scope of all this massive sums of money that I have lined up for you. 3 things you do. Number 1, you go under this video and you subscribe. Number 2, you go under this video, hit that join the channel, become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Number 3, get that membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alerts. You'll see an alert at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. That's West Coast time. If you're not West Coast, figure out what time zone you're in. And then watch for that alert. It'll say new LA post. You go down the alert until it says click here to go to the post. You go into the post and there you are. Also, make sure you go to the front channel and make sure you have your bell set to all notifications. There's a bell, set it to all notifications. And there you go. Get these incredible sums of money and you're going to do so well. Trust me, I have complete confidence in you. And if you've had a success story, jump in the live chat right now and post your success story because it inspires other people across the land. Coming to this channel in just days is the launch of LA2 and LA3. LA2 will be the second new channel joining this family. LA3, of course, will be the third one. LA2 will be about your stimulus with live broadcasts throughout the day about stimulus, focus only on stimulus, and also featuring hilarious commentary from Sirloin, Javita Late, Blaine 66, and back in a series of your favorite shows with new seasons and brand new shows you've never seen them in before. Then on LA3, its third new channel, joining this family, you'll see a 24-hour series of programming about Wall Street, about the Federal Reserve, about your stocks, about your bonds, about the economy, about knowing where this economy is and where it's going. It's not a stock pickers channel. It's about showing you financial independence so that you are preparing your family for this recession. This is the number one story. This is the number one story. The number one story of all news, whether it's celebrity, sports, or business, is this story, the recession, the inflation. And that's why LA's positioned itself to be the top, to be the best. I want you along for the ride. That is LA number 3. It also has cooking programming coming to that channel as well. So make sure you go into this video and subscribe to LA2 and LA3. I want to speak a little bit now, my commentary for today's afternoons about the president's comments yesterday about the CPI. The President of the United States yesterday addressed the CPI and said, inflation is my top priority. That was a quote I ran then. Well, I didn't know the President had some other quotes about that inflationary read. And what did he say? He said the data is not particularly accurate because it's delayed data. Oh, ridiculous. It is really ridiculous. You know, one of the things that the Democrats and Joseph Biden and his administration tried to position themselves so differently than the prior administration was not doing false facts. That was what this administration was trying to pride itself on, not doing false facts. And now it's becoming almost a weekly occurrence, sometimes a daily occurrence, of false facts out of this administration. The CPI is not a very accurate number, the White House said, because it's a delayed number. Uh, the number released yesterday is a June number for the month of June. It doesn't say the month of July. It's a June number for the month of June. But what is he trying to imply? I mean, really, what is he trying to imply? That the number of June is bad, but the month of July is wonderful? Well, the number for the month of July is not wonderful because the number for the month of July is dependent upon price of goods. They haven't gone down on the market, and gasoline, which has not gone down that much. So I don't know why he would say, June is an inaccurate number because it's delayed. Well, yeah, if that's how the way the CPI is released, it's for the month before. It's a delayed number. And if you want to say that it's not an accurate number, then you're basically saying July is going to show a great low inflationary number. There is no indication. There is no indication that July is going to be a low inflationary number. It may be better. It may be better, but there's no indication it's going to be a lower inflationary number. Gasoline has come down and supply chain has improved, but why would the White House even say that? The job of the White House is to give guidance about what we currently know about the economy. The way we know what's going on in the economy is looking at the CPI, looking at the PPI, looking at the core producer price index. These are nonpartisan data points that have been used by this economy for decades. And to suddenly say that one of the most important data points we use as citizens and understand as citizens, because more Americans now know what a CPI is than ever before. You weren't tracking inflation, a year ago or 2 years ago. Now most Americans know what a CPI is. He's saying it's not a reliable data point. That's not a good look. That's not a good look for this administration. The administration has also continued to give false facts about gasoline, saying that gasoline has gotten down because it was released of the strategic reserves. It has not gotten down. Saying that gasoline has come down because it shows his policies are working on gasoline. Gasoline's coming down because of traders trading down the price of gasoline because they believe a recession's underway. It's not coming down because the White House has done anything about it. There's no indication anywhere in the oil segments of traders that the reason why gasoline has come down is anything from the administration. It's that type of narrative which is at issue. And finally, the most important issue at hand is the heightened labor number. The heightened labor number of 244,000 new jobless claims is a number. I mean, it's the same number we were reporting during the Trump administration, same number we were reporting during the Biden administration, same number we were reporting, over the last, 15 plus years. The number is there. And to say that 244,000 is a great, strong labor market, it's just not true. Last Friday, the president sort of did what Wall Street did, which is look at that job creations number in the month of June, released on Friday, and said the labor market's really strong. Well, the White House had the number of jobless claims the day before, on Thursday, not Friday, but Thursday, and it was 235. Today it's 244. See what's going on? It's gone from 230 to 235 to 244. And yet the administration is spinning the data as though it's good. Here's what you need to know, is that the President of the United States said inflation is my top priority. If inflation is his top priority, he needs to own it. He needs to admit we have an inflationary problem. Inflation is now too high and it has not come down yet. And I'm doing something for this. It's the second part of the sentence, which is the most important. Over the last 6 months, especially, this White House administration has been very on point to identify when there's problems, when there's causes of problems, but never to give you an answer about what the solution is. Saying gasoline prices are high and we need to address that. How? Well, I'll get back to you later. Inflation is high. It's my top priority. Oh, okay. I'm going to remain focused on inflation. Oh, okay. You staring at it? Is it staring back at you? Staring at inflation. It's my focus. I'm focusing on you, inflation. Well, what are you doing with it? I'm just focusing on it. Come on already. This is pure sirloin material. This is absolutely exactly what Sirloin loves. And Sirloin will be eating this up alive on his new hit show. Well, it's not aired yet, so I can't call it his show yet. But it's called Seriously, SIR, posthumously, when Congress and Washington is a joke. And it's this type of comments by the president about CPI is not a reliable number is very laughable. It's also laughable when Jay Powell continues to say he's getting inflation down to 2%. Well, it's July, Jay, and, the CPI is 9.1% in July. How fast can you get from 9 to 2 in 5 months? Get from 9 to 2 in 5 months. It's just a really quick, short period of time. Finally, let's look at that Build Back Better Act. The Build Back Better Act is deliciousness. And I got to tell you, there is always someone who wants to send me a Joe Manchin quote. Joe Manchin's upset about inflation. Good. Everyone should be upset about inflation. And Joe Manchin's a little concerned about the Build Back Better Act. We're all concerned about the Build Back Better Act. So there were those Joe Manchin quotes that people were sending me yesterday. Am I concerned about them? No. The Build Back Better Act is wonderful, and it'll give you a lot of money. It's going to get passed, and they say it's going to be called for a vote by late July. Well, we got about 14 days left for late July, or maybe 7 days left for late July. I mean, it's the 14th today, so when are they going to call for a vote? What we're going to see is in the next 7 days, we're going to see how closer this is to a formidable negotiated plan. The negotiations on the bill need to get to a point at which you can say, hey, we have something negotiated. Now let's write it up. Give ourselves a couple of days to write up, then give ourselves a couple of days to vote on it. That is their representation, not my representation. Their representation is the vote would happen by the late July. I believe that Build Back Better Act is going to happen. I've always said it's going to happen, and it's a lot of check. It's $15,000 to $80,000 of it, but you can't wait for those checks to arrive. Why? Because you are at the real cusp of a financial cliff. September, in a recession, now. Gasoline tracking higher, and you cannot wait for the Build Back Better Act to get passed because you need money right now. So what do? You go right on this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP, become a member right today. Go right on this video and understand that there's 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state, and you deserve them. You deserve them. Done by the President of the United States, executive action, the biggest payout we'll ever see of a generation. The money's not going to be there forever. And you're going to look back and say, yes, I'm glad I got it. I'm glad I got it. I'm glad I found LALATE. I'm glad I became part of this Purple Power community, became a member, because this money was available then. And we never knew if the money was going to be around forever. And maybe by the time you're saying this a few months from now, you may be saying the money's gone. I don't know how long the money's going to be around. You qualify for it generally right now, so go get it right now and get that financial independence. Go into this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Get these incredible sums of money right now, and then we'll get the other sums of money thereafter. We'll get the Social Security raise, the SSI, SSDI. We'll get the Build Back Better Act at a later date, but get this money right now. And then join me on Evenings LA coming up at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, stay informed and stay focused, and stay with LA for more.